and they keep pounding it in my head really bad for whatever reason right there. Like they don't want me to be doing this interview at all.
Right.
But that makes me that much more just want to keep doing it, you know, or keep talking, expose them all.
Well, they
Yeah.
want to control us in any way they can. So, every
Oh,
little
the
thing.
drones. That's what I want to talk about. The drones. I don't know if anybody else has experienced these weird like light things in the sky. At first I thought they were satellites, but they're not. They move too fast. I've got drones all the time, like above my house. They harass me with drones for whatever reason. Always. I've got millions of videos of them, and I don't know. Maybe we could post one under my link on this video or something.
Yeah, we could do that. We could do
They
that.
think they
A lot of
they
people
just
tell
think
me
me
about
threat.
drones. Let me tell you a story that happened with me. Okay, and I could tell you right now that I know for certain that gang stalkers, if they're using drones, it doesn't have anything to do with remote neural monitoring. Okay, so I know
It's
that
just
for a
another
fact.
way to harass you and to get your brain thinking.
Well, a lot of
Or
times what people see in the sky, if it's way up there, it definitely could be broadcast, or it could be some other kind of drone, because a lot of businesses and government authorities and all types of things are using drones for whatever reason. But so there is drones flying around, but as far as remote neural monitoring, it can work perfectly without drones, and it does everything that you can imagine needing
Mhm.
to do. So you don't really have the necessity for a drone. But that said, um, this gang stalker Marcus, everybody's heard about my nemesis.
Mhm.
One time he was flying a drone, all right, and it was a real drone. It wasn't a big one. It was just like one you would get at Walmart or something. And he was flying a drone, and it was coming on the side of my house, and it got caught in my bush. Right? And he's I guess he's an all right pilot with it, because he kept jerking it, and he finally got it out, and it flew it back away. But the significance of that I learned from that is he was flying the drone with his broadcast, with his holograms. He's standing over there with his hologram flying the drone. All right, so the broadcast that they have obviously has some sort of connections capabilities, and I would say it's probably Bluetooth. I don't know. I have this little robot. It has the same technology as like a Segway, where it always stands
Yeah.
up. It's on two wheels, but it always stands up, and I can connect to it with my iPhone on Bluetooth, and that's how I control it. So it doesn't come with a controller. It did, but I've never used a controller. I've always used the iPhone, and you can just drive this little robot around with a Bluetooth connection from a phone. So they have, as a broadcast, they have a virtual device broadcasted with them, which is also a broadcast, but their broadcast has the capability. And I don't know, he could have been using my Wi-Fi service for his connection
Mhm.
capability, or he could have just had a connection capability from the broadcast, but he was definitely flying the drone with his broadcast that he was living virtually as. So that was a it was just something. Take notes and learn what I can, and that's what I do every time that they do anything. I try to learn everything I can from them, and
Mhm.
you were talking about you mentioned something earlier about how they're escalating the attacks on everybody, and
Yeah.
they love to brag and they love to attack people, and they're doing all of this stuff, but it's to their own demise, because what's ultimately happening is everybody's starting to know about this and starting to realize that this is really happening, and these flaunting, bragging gang stalkers that I can do whatever I want to. It's what Marcus always says. She lets me do whatever I want. Talking about the girl that has me on it. He's always bragging about how he can do
I feel
whatever he
like I
wants
know
to.
Marcus personally from watching a lot of your videos.
Yeah, he's not. I don't even feel like I know him that good, but I can't
Yeah.
stand him really. Him and his brother. They've got a really nasty personalities. They're not good people, and they're
Hmm.
gang stalkers. And but they're going to be dealt with. They're going to be dealt with in this life or the next.
That's what I was saying earlier. I said, you know, it might not be today, might not be tomorrow, might not be next year or the year after that, but in my lifetime, I feel it in every fiber of my being. Something is going to be done. They can't keep going like this. They're becoming reckless, and they're giving it to people who are just disgusting individuals who have no right, you know, accessing this technology. It's just, and that's the sad thing. It could be used for a lot of good, but it's being used for the worst possible scenarios, and it just shows society is doomed, really. Like humanity, I'm disappointed. I really am. Like, this is not what, when you're little and they say, oh, where do you picture yourself 20 years from now? I didn't write a report and say, oh, I hope I'm being gang stalked and electronically raped every night and followed around and I have no life. And I've this last week I finally started to come out of my depression. Like, every year I always get a little bit seasonally depressed. The short hours, no daylight, and since daylight savings time, it's been lighter and the weather's been getting a lot better. So I've been wanting to get out of bed and be proactive and happy and healthy, and they hate that. Like, so I thought maybe that was another reason they kind of upped their torture. Who knows? But I did notice it as a pattern with everybody you're interviewing. Like, it's getting worse, and that's good for us, though. That's a good sign that we're doing something right.
Well,
I'll take the torture if that means that something is gonna,
yeah.
this.
Well, I put out a video a little while ago about where I was just talking about things and the reasons why people don't talk about it, but how important it is for all of us to start talking about it, because it's like strength in numbers. If I'm talking about it, then nobody else is talking about it. Then only the people that are going through it might understand and say, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. But everybody who's never heard of this, like we hadn't before it started happening to us, then they're not gonna buy it. They're not gonna be buying it at all. But if there's 1 million people talking about it, then you kind of got to think, well, maybe there is something going on, even though I'm not experiencing this. So if we could get the masses to start to understand that this is going on, then we'll be headed in the right direction.
Even, like you said, even if it's not happening to them, just get people paying attention and becoming aware. And then somebody who's maybe got a bigger platform who can, do something about it, or get, I don't know, mass media to start reporting it. Because I know from everything I've read, they don't want to. Like, they're controlled too, they're afraid to say anything. And same thing with me. I mean, I look at you and a lot of your friends, and on their page it says right there, targeted individual. I'm scared shitless to announce that, because having a young child, you say the wrong thing, especially in a small town like this, they're gonna come after you. They're gonna think you're crazy and want to take your kids away and put you up in some loony bin. And I don't want that to happen.
That's one of the things that I was mentioning in my. I lost audio. Did you hit mute? No? Okay, so I'm going to edit this part out. I'm going to have to, do the hang up and call you back again.
It's so weird. Why does that keep happening? Right when I start talking about something important.
Yeah. Is that me? It is me. I'm echoing. You got me on speaker?
Well, yeah, because you're on, my phone.
Have you
looking at you through the...
No, that ain't working. Nah, I gotta hang up and call back again. Oh, hold on.
Is that better?
Let me see.
Can you hear me now?
Can I hear me? Okay, yeah, that's good.
Okay. So, yeah, we got cut off there, and that's so weird. I'm not hitting the mute button at all. Somebody is doing something, but it ain't me.
Yeah.
So something I wanted to talk about too real quick was the weird, and I don't know if this has happened to anybody else, but when you run into one of your gang stalkers, or say you'll be at the restaurant having a drink or come sit down, and they do the little riddle talk, and they'll sit down and they'll be talking to you about stuff, but it's everything that you just did earlier in that day, but they're talking about it almost in third person, or dropping little hints to see if they can catch your attention. Things that happens a lot here for whatever reason, and I didn't know if that would help anybody else, if that's happening to them. But here in Little Podunk, Wyoming, that is what they do. They'll come and find done. Or you'll be in Walmart and say you'll have your kid and 2 of her friends or whatever. All of a sudden you'll see all these women or men, and they'll have 2 kids with them, and they'll be going and shopping and buying all the same things that you were. Everything that you wrote on your list earlier, they're in there getting. And you'll walk by and they'll be like, oh, God, I wonder what Toby's doing. Well, how would, and say you got a cat named Toby. Little things like that. And they'll say it so loud like, they know you're listening. They just want to get your reaction and, see if their shit's working, and it drives them nuts. You can ignore them. The best advice I have to people is just keep your shit together, stay working, stay focused, don't jump down the rabbit hole and try to find answers of this, how, and why, and who all the time, because a lot of the times they will just take that and use it to their advantage, and they'll fuck with you, and they'll have you thinking it's everybody. I thought my own family, I thought my 17-year-old nieces were gang stalkers at one time. And I'm sure for a lot of people, like, their family is in on it, but that's just what they want you to think, so that you have no support, no family. And like I say, it's mostly your ex. And I'm starting to kind of realize now, I mean, with your help and stuff, that I really do think it is my ex. And, this did start happening in 2013, which was the year I had originally met him. And then, years down the road, we started dating, but weird things would happen. He would call me, he'd go to work and I'd be sleeping, at his house, and like, he would call me and he would just know weird things about me. And when I would come home for a couple days to my house, he would know weird things. Or I would talk to someone and say oh, I'm going to go get this tattoo by this guy. And, oh, this guy's so cute, that's going to do my tattoo. And all of a sudden he would text and be like, oh, so yeah, there's this tattoo artist that's really hot and she's going to do my tattoos. Like, he would just mock me, and I never knew how. I thought there was cameras, like I said, in my house, and little audio devices, and it's insane the technology, that this technology is out there, and that random crackheads and people have this in their home. Like, yeah. I wish I could just walk in on somebody, catch them like you did, that one guy.
Yeah.
God, that was so awesome.
I always think, looking back at the time, I was like, what's going on? But looking back, it's funny to see how they know everything, right? So my ex, she would always call at like the exact time that was not the time to be calling me. So she would call it the worst. Yeah, she would call it the worst time, and then but to see her try to pretend like she didn't know everything when she really did. So,
but then they get so mad they can't pretend, because they
right.
get so mad about shit, and they're jealous narcissists. And but sorry, keep going.
that's it. That's what I'm talking about. And they are narcissists. All of them seem to be. And you were talking about how they're giving it to the wrong people, and how it could be used for good. Just a couple examples. Blind people could see with remote neural monitoring. Okay. Secondly, all psychology can be solved. Any psychological disorders could be solved because you could connect to these people and understand the way that their mind works. So you could solve psychological disorders,
schizophrenia,
or at least understand
I don't
them.
believe it exists.
You know what? It may not. It may not, and you could be right. Just like tinnitus and arthritis and fibromyalgia and all of these things that are chronic pain that really could be broadcast. But there's some big companies out there that stand to make a whole lot of money as long as these things are known to exist. Also, you were talking about giving it to the wrong people. So if you are an evil person in the midst of an evil paradigm, and you can know what other people are thinking inside of their mind, then it's like the perfect testing grounds to who am I going to have join this evil paradigm with me. Not the people that would try to put an end to all of this and to try to help people. Not the heroes, not the good people. Only the evil people. Only the twisted, wicked people. Only the people that we can have leverage on each other and live that kind of way. And that's why people like you and me don't get our neural monitoring, because these people know that we're not going to stand for that type of thing.
And we're good people with a soul, and we're not out to freaking destroy mankind. Like, we would use it to help other people.
Right. Right.
Not an evil. Yeah, it's just. Sorry, if you guys can hear that, my cats all of a sudden are just living the life over here, crazy, running into the window. They're like going nuts right now. if you heard that. Yeah, one just literally ran itself into the window. I don't know. Somebody might be monitoring him right now.
They're probably trying to get a moth. Yeah, it could. They might be seeing one of those holograms or somebody in a reflection or something like that.
Yeah.
Who knows how their eyes work to be able to possibly see the broadcast.
Yeah. And I wanted to mention, okay, so that thing you posted the other day about your ex and that guy that, Jethro, or what was was that his name?
Yeah.
Jethro. Him is like a truth seeker. I noticed while we were watching that, like how right when he went to, ask her about certain things, randomly the connection just randomly cuts off.
Right.
And then it kind of seems, and I told you earlier, but I just wanted to let everybody know in case they didn't pick up on it. I felt it kind of seemed like as the interview was going along, he kind of started realizing oh my God, okay, this is weird. All my computer's doing this malfunctioning, and he sits there and says, it could be a coincidence, but you can hear the shakiness in his voice. You can tell if anyone's intuitive, which you are, if you're getting stuck, you have to be freaking intuitive because you'll learn real quick, what's going on around you. But you can pick up on that, and he becomes very insecure and very kind of weary and trying to make excuses, and rather than try to pinpoint everything on you and you're the bad guy and you're this psychotic freak, he kind of just turns it around and into something about Jesus, and then if we had a platform, we should use it for this or that, and the whole thing, that made them look really bad, I feel like. So I don't know why they even put that out there.
Right, that's why I shared it.
And that helped me believe your story 100 times more. I always have believed you since I found your videos. But that, now I know for sure she is behind your remote neural monitor.
Right, that's why I shared it around to everywhere I could possibly do. I commented, let me help you get some views on this, and I shared it around everywhere because I know that people that have been paying attention, they could see right through all that little smog that they got going on. So they're not fooling anybody, and that's why, it's not the first time people have put out videos about me, and it's not the first time that I shared them everywhere either. So, it's just part of it. The people that are responsible for this type of stuff, they need us to be discredited, and they want to try to make us look as crazy as they can, but we're not the ones.
All they have is, they used to do this, or they used to do that, or they're psychotic, or that's not working anymore.
Right. We're not the ones that have to. We're not the ones that have to swim in this web of lies to try to figure out how to make it all work. All we got to do is tell the truth of what happened.
All our boyfriends all have the same story except us. That's what I can say to her. How come all your ex-boyfriends all have the same story?
Yeah.
You're the crazy one. It's true. Yeah.
Well, we're running out of time, so do you think you'll come back on?
Yes.
Okay, I would love to have you back on.
I want to start something. I want to get together, all of us. I want to start doing a big, there's certain groups that have these conference calls. You can call them
right. I was thinking about that.
And have this number. We need to start doing something like that. And I'm not even kidding. Just take the next step. Figure out. Between all of us, there's something we can figure out to, take a plan of action. Talking about it's good. It's great. It's helping other people realize they're not alone. There's millions of us out there, but what are we gonna do next? How are we gonna combat this? What are we gonna, we got to figure it out.
Right.
So I want to work on that.
Cool. That's what we're gonna do. And I was thinking about that too earlier. So I think it's a great idea. So I appreciate you coming on, and we'll see you again soon, everybody. Britni from Wyoming.
Wyoming. Bye, guys.
Yeah.